and in today's video I reveal the car that I just purchased. Welcome back to your favorite small automotive YouTube channel, enhancing your vehicle ownership. I'm Nate, and today I want to introduce to you guys my new purchase, my 1995 Toyota Camry LE. Alright, so I didn't mean to be shooting this entire video handheld. I brought a tripod, I brought a GoPro, and that GoPro's memory card was full. So unfortunately, I can't put this camera in the tripod, it doesn't support it, and the GoPro is not going to work for us. So apparently I need to get home and I need to get editing some videos. That memory card is full of content for you guys. If you're new, welcome to the channel. Here on Evo Auto, I post regularly about my automotive ownership and my automotive adventures. Now, I live in Southeast Idaho and I drive a lot, and I want to share my experiences with you guys to save you time and money and to help enhance your vehicle ownership. So consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already, and go ahead and check out some of my other videos. Now, like I said, I have a lot of content coming up for you guys. If you want to see sneak peeks of that content, go ahead and check out EYVO_auto on Instagram and give me a follow there as well. With that said, let's go ahead and jump into today's video. So for the last year and a half, my 2018-2019 project car has been a 1999 Audi A8 Quattro. That has been a super fun car and a super difficult car to work on. I absolutely loved it and enjoyed it. The whole purpose of buying that car was to learn how to time a V8, learn how to work on cars, and just kind of practice on a vehicle that I didn't really care about if I ended up blowing it up. I also own a 2004 FX4, F-150 FX4. I absolutely love that truck, and yes, unfortunately, it's getting up there in miles and I am going to have to start working on it. So the Audi A8 helped me prepare to work on my 2004 FX4 that is in very good condition and that is still a very nice truck. I've got content coming on that as well because it is getting a little bit run down, to where I want to show you guys how to make that truck or an older vehicle feel newer again, just like I did with my wife's 2007 Hyundai Sonata. So if you're interested in any of that content, go ahead, go back on the channel and check it out. So I tell you guys about my Audi A8 because I've been using it to commute 300 miles a week. Now that car has a 4.2 liter V8 engine in it, and it's 21 years old. You need to understand that that's not the most reliable car to be driving around, and it's definitely not the easiest car on my wallet. I was averaging around 19 miles to the gallon, and I was suffering from breakdowns every month or so. Again, I have videos on all of those breakdowns and all of the repairs that I did on that car if you want to check them out. But because I started to drive 300 miles a week to work, and I recently got married, I needed something a little bit more fuel efficient and something that was a little bit more cost effective to drive around. I still have the 99 Audi, but I had been searching on the marketplace now for probably about 6 months, just in case a really good deal come along. The original plan was to sell the Audi and then buy a car, purchase a car, but a deal that doesn't come around very often popped up on the marketplace and I just couldn't pass it up. I found this 1995 Toyota Camry on the marketplace for only $1,600, and it only had 109,000 miles. I decided to take off work a little bit early one night, drive to Pocatello, the hour to Pocatello, and check out the car, and I ended up making the purchase. Now, I've always said that if a lower mile Honda Accord or Camry popped up on the marketplace, especially one from the 90s, I would make the purchase simply because these cars are so dang reliable and they last so long, and you never ever see deals like this where they're less than $3,000. Now, this car does have a rebuilt title, and I'll talk about that in the video, but I still feel very comfortable and very happy with my purchase. So here's the 1995 Toyota Camry LE. Now, at first glance, this car is in very good condition. Yes, I've been driving it around on construction sites all week, and I have neglected to wash it before this video. Luckily, it's been raining, so it's not terribly dusty. But overall, this car is in very good condition. All of the panels are straight, and the paint is in near perfect condition. Usually on these old Camrys, especially the 90s Camrys, you get clear coat, especially on the hood and the roof, that is cracking and fading. Now this is happening in just a few spots on this car, but it is not completely covered like most of these older cars are. Now there was one small issue with this car, and that is it's on a rebuilt title because of some accident that happened here in the back. Now to me this is an eyesore, and it is pretty ugly, or it makes the car pretty ugly. I don't think you really notice it when you see the car driving by, or don't really notice it at first glance. But this is the only panel that's damaged here, so you can see that maybe someone backed into this car or something, but there's a big dent and gash here, and for some reason the door completely avoided this accident. So the door's completely straight, this panel got pushed back and crunched, and there is a gap big enough for me to stick my fingers in between this panel and the door, but also for some reason that does not let in any wind noise whatsoever, nor does it leak when it rains. So for that reason, the car is on a salvage title. The accident probably paid for the car for the previous owner, which perhaps is why he gave it up for such a good deal. Now this is the Toyota Camry LE, which means it is the more luxurious version than the basic Toyota Camry. It actually has the genuine or 100% gold-plated badges. Now these badges are not worth anything. I think Hoovie's Garage explained it, or maybe it was Watch JR Go explained it in one of their videos, but Toyota used such a small amount of gold on the badges that they're not actually worth anything. But yes, that is real gold plating around the antenna and the badges. Of course, this car has got the gold pinstriping, and just a few of those upgraded features that was included only in the LE. Now you guys are probably thinking that this is the V6 model because it is an upgraded package, but this is actually the 2.2 liter 4-cylinder. I think the Toyota calls it the 2200, something like that. This is a super fuel efficient and super reliable engine at 125 horsepower. So I'm going from 310 horsepower down to 125. Yet this car is still quite fun to drive. It's actually a hoot. No, it doesn't have a 0 to 60 time, but yes, it can actually get up to 80 miles an hour. That was one of the biggest things that I had to figure out when I test drove it is, could this car do 80? Can it actually get up to the speed limit? Because if it can, I'm not buying it, but it did great. So there's that. I absolutely love driving this car. It's just a stark contrast from the Audi. It's so different from the Audi. Now another huge contrast from the Audi is when you step inside the car. There is absolutely nothing luxurious about these 90s Camrys. I think the brand new Camrys start to finally get more luxurious and have some more of those comfort features, but these old Camrys simply were built to be cheap, reliable commuter cars, which they still are today. Although not luxurious in any way, this Camry still packs power windows and doors. It also packs a full stereo system and climate control. Now, when I say stereo and climate control, don't think of anything fancy. They literally are just the basic functions of simple radio and simple climate control with four fan settings, a few different or your standard vent settings, as well as either hot or cold. Now this car does have air conditioning, which works very well, and a rear defroster, which I don't know if that's custom to the LE or not, but I'm sure that not all of the Camrys from the 90s had these features, but in my book they're an absolute must. So AC was definitely a check-marked box on my list when looking for a car. I believe there's only 3 settings on the windshield wipers. It's either intermittent, low, or high, and for the lights, you know, It's just on or off, bright or dim, and really that's enough for this car. I don't feel like you need all of those fancy features for just commuting. This car simply is a commuter. It was built for commuting. For being built for commuting, this car does not have a lot of miles on it. Now, I bought it at 109,000 miles. I now have almost 111,000 miles on it. I'm definitely using this car what it was built for. The previous owner, however, only put 3,000 miles on this car. He owned it for a year, and apparently the story is that this car was owned by a family out of Philadelphia. This guy had bought it for his mom. She didn't end up driving a whole lot, so he ended up trailering it around the US as they traveled. Now, I don't know how accurate that story is, but it seems pretty cool. So this could be a Philadelphia car brought out to Idaho. Again, I'm not really sure. I haven't pulled any reports on the car or anything like that, but I know this car really hasn't been driven that much, especially for being 25 years old, but unfortunately for it, that's about to change. Another great feature I love about the Toyota Camry, especially this 2.2 liter, is that it gets about 25 to 26 miles to the gallon in town, and anywhere from 30 to 31 miles to the gallon on the highway. Now, my last fill up, I actually averaged 35, and the first fill up that I did on this car, I averaged 31. So I think I'm expecting to get around 30 miles to the gallon in this car, depending on how I drive it, which is a huge improvement over the Audi, and something that I absolutely love about this car. And this car, it's not fast, but it cruises really nicely down the highway. It floats, it's light, but at the same time it really seems to drive nice through weather or wind, and it's not bad at all to drive. Being easy on my pocketbook makes it even better. So I've absolutely loved owning and driving this car, and I'll have a review coming to the channel very soon for you guys. The previous owner also installed a 6 CD disc changer, which I have not tried out and don't know if it works. And the Camry includes these little weird, whoops, that's not it. Camry includes these little weird cup holders here as well that really aren't good for anything, but it kind of reminds me of the old Saab I had, so that's sort of cool. You know, the trunk space isn't as big as the Audi, but it's still very spacious for how small this car is. I'm able to fit all of my groceries in. If my wife and I were to go take a trip, I believe there's enough space for that as well. And then there's that 6 CD disc changer that the previous owner installed. Again, I haven't tried that out, but I think I'm going to here in the very, very near future. Now, I am super excited about my purchase. I love it so much because it is exactly what I need in my life right now. A cheap, reliable commuter vehicle. Now, I don't want to count my eggs before they hatch, but I have put almost 2,000 miles on this car without a single hiccup. I love that it takes 85 fuel. I love that it gets 30 miles to the gallon. I love that it's not fast, that I'm not going to get in trouble. Suddenly, I drive the speed limit everywhere I go. And, you know, I love that it's not something unique that people are always pointing out or looking at or wanting to race down the road or things like that. Now, am I saying that I will never bring something unique back to the channel, or another project car, or more European cars for your guys' enjoyment? No, not at all. In fact, I expect to bring more of those cars coming to the channel soon for you guys. But for right now, we're going to be putting out a lot of camper content and a lot of Camry content. And I still have the Audi, so I expect to do a few more videos on that car until I can get it sold. If you are interested in purchasing my 99 Audi A8, go check out my virtual tour video that I recently uploaded. That's it for this video, guys. I hope you have enjoyed it as much as I have enjoyed making it. If you did, go ahead and smash that like button. Give this video a share. Subscribe to the channel for more Toyota Camry content coming up on all of my crazy car adventures that are going to turn into reliable car adventures. So probably going to be focusing more on tips and tidbits on automotive ownership here in the future, like this channel was built for. So if you guys are into that, subscribe and give me a follow on Instagram. I hope you guys are doing great. Get out and enjoy your vehicle ownership, and I will catch you in the next video.